Hey, this is Match once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request. This time for Joseph. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, how was I going to put it? Joseph sent in a request from Microwave Massacre. And first off, I apologize if I sound weird or I cut on my tongue, so it makes it a bit difficult to talk. I'll do my best. This film, I guess it was done in 1979, but it got delayed till like 1983, something of that nature. And it's an hour and 16 minutes, so it's not too long, and I didn't think it was that boring. Microwave Massacre is a title I heard of for a long time. I mean, if you remember the days of VHS stores or looking through old horror magazines or the like, you probably have heard of the title. And it stars a guy named Jackie Vernon, who was a stand-up comedian for a while, but at this time he was on his last legs. I guess they wanted Rodney Dangerfield, and he wanted too much money. If Rodney Dangerfield had starred in this would have been a fucking masterpiece of shit. But as it is, it's a... Before I forget, Jackie Vernon, if you ever see this and his voice sounds familiar, he was the voice of Frosty the Snowman in those Rankin and Bass movies back in the day, the Christmas specials, like the claymation and stuff. Well, that wasn't claymation. Was that claymation or was that animated? That's been forever since I've seen that. Frosty, is it? No, I think Rudolph was claymation. Well, now I'm down in it. God, my mind's... This movie broke my mind. Maybe my mind got fried in the microwave. The microwave in this is as big as a fucking refrigerator. But he's the voice of Frosty the Snowman in those old Rankin and Bass movies back in the day. I do remember that voice. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, that voice is talking about, you know, eating human flesh and... Someone could take that Frosty the Snowman movie and put clips of the voice of this movie in that. Please, someone do that. If someone hasn't done that yet, do Frosty the Snowman, like take the footage and then put this audio in Frosty's mouth. This movie was a... there's a nice guy on here, a good guy named Pizzow, who reviewed this. P-I-Z-O-W-E-L-L. He used the word absurdist. Absurd is a good word for this. Really, really shitty is another good phrase for this, but it's down on the level of Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2 and Don't Go in the Woods for me. But this could be up there in the so bad it's funny way. I could probably see myself watch this again, but maybe with friends to laugh at. Because it's trying to be a comedy. Jackie Vernon is a type that has a lot of these jokes, puns. It's one of those that you watch and you're going, what the fuck is going on? But it made me want to keep watching and interested to see what would happen next. To the point I was actually kind of enjoying myself for how bad this was. Because like I said, I didn't think it was boring. Did not think it was boring at all. I mean, the very first scene of the movie, it makes us feel at times it's like a porn film. Because a woman's walking and the camera's on her ass or on her tits, or on her ass or on her tits. And then she passes by this construction site where our lead, Jackie Vernon, is at, and his buddies, his two buddies, with such weird, quirky characters that I kind of liked them. I kind of liked them for how weird and kind of entertaining they were. I wouldn't say they were good actors, but they were entertaining. And like they're watching this girl and she's looking through and someone comes up and pushes her against this wall, this fence, where there's a hole, and her tits pop out through the fence. And then the two workers with the two buddies of the lead run off to get a closer look. This would never... I guarantee you there'd be people watching this movie saying misogynistic in every step of the way. Holy shit. Those were the days of the 70s and 80s, huh? So Jackie Vernon gets home, and his wife is a mensch who cooks all these healthy foods but only uses the microwave. And it's this new microwave she got that literally is as big. I say it as a fridge, but if not a fridge, then your oven. Your oven is as big as that. It's the biggest goddamn microwave you've ever seen in your entire life. So ridiculously huge. And that's what I'm saying on. This opening, how crazy it was, and then just the size of this fucking microwave, I'm laughing, and I'm like, okay, this is the... And then, even Jackie Vernon's performance, he's like, if Jackie Mason from Caddyshack 2 met Rodney Dangerfield, or if Barney Rubble from Flintstones was stoned, very stoned, like Barney Rubble, you gave him a big old peace pipe of Cheech and Chong marijuana. So, hey, how's it going? And whatever the hell puns that were said. I'm trying to think of some of the puns. Oh, people said you look good? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't attend the Braille Institute. I was just so fascinated with what the hell was going on, what was going to happen next. And his big beef with the wife is that she keeps cooking this shitty food. And he's tired of eating this shitty food. This health food. And number one, I mean, if you gotta cook her just with the microwave, the shit's not gonna be that healthy. And number two, can't the guy, like, go to a store? The guy's like, I just want a bologna and cheese sandwich. Go to the store, buy a piece of bread and some bologna and cheese. How much did they fucking cost in 1979 or when the fuck this movie was made? Because, again, some say 79, some say 83. It might have been made in 79, then it got delayed a few years. Because I guess they shot the film, and then they went back to add more nudity and titties, and then released it for more exploitation crowd. Dude, just go out and buy a fucking roll bread. Or, you know, you do have a diner, right? Just go to a fucking diner. You keep going to the bar to get your beer. Go to a diner and get some bologna sandwiches. Like, I don't like bologna. I prefer ham. Or other stuff. Chicken sandwiches, but go get it. Like, what's stopping you, dude? That's what I'm kept thinking. What's stopping you? But I don't know. I guess he didn't figure that out. And every character in this film has a weird, quirky attribute to them. Which I will say, in a weird way, I commend the movie for doing that, because everywhere you look is just either this weird doctor or this bartender who's like, don't tell me your life's problems, and hey, yeah, I'm doing okay, except my hemorrhoids. My hemorrhoids really bad when it's humid. And then the lead's trying to drink, but he can't drink anymore after hearing that. Or again, the lead guy's two buddies. Like, his one buddy almost gobbles on a damn lady at the construction site, and she goes for it. She goes for it, and he kisses her, and she likes it, and I'm like... Number one, try doing that in the real world. Number two, try doing that in today's age. And people were saying lines like, "You're a walking contraceptive." Sorry, I blanked out there because I'm thinking of all these other characters, like the buddy with the mustache and glasses. Hey baby, how's it going, man? Like he's trying to talk like he's, I don't know. Hey baby, how's it going? Like just, I don't know if he's trying to talk like a hippie or he's trying to talk. I'm cool, man. I'm fly, man. But they would hook up with this girl, and then shows her this construction muscle guy, who I guess you find out is gay. Oh man, don't do that. Like very limp-wristed gay. There's a point where the lead guy's eating dog food because he's desperate for food. I'm like, why eating dog food? Is a peanut butter sandwich that costly back in the day where you buy a loaf of bread and a case of peanut butter? They have to resort to eating dog food? I didn't, like, why is he eating dog food? Like, buy a fucking bologna sandwich. Like, buy a pack of bologna or a pack of ham or, you know, maybe it was different back then, but buy a case of peanut butter. Fuck. They probably cost as much as you buying all the fucking dog food you're eating. What are you, Martin Riggs? Eating dog food? So he comes on, spoiler alert, he's tired of his wife's shit. He dirties up the place. He pisses in the fucking fireplace. She gives him more shit. And he kills her with the salt shaker thing. But he's drunk, and so when he wakes up the next day, he doesn't remember. He's looking for his wife, May, and finds her in the damn microwave. Now, granted, it's a big microwave. I don't think you could fit the whole body of her in the microwave, but the way they shot it, they made it, you try to think it was. And he's like, shot. And then he turns and he's like, well, that's how she wanted to go. That's what I mean. Like, he says stuff like that. Like, it's meant to be funny, and I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing. But I'm laughing with how bad and weird this is at the same time. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was a... So he cuts her up, puts in the fridge to figure out what to do next, in like a freezer in the garage. Late one night, he gets a snack and he's accidentally eating her hand. But then he's like, this is actually really good. He starts bringing the food to work. The food, he's cooking the body parts. The workers want to taste his, they think it's another thing of meat. Wow, this tastes good. Although it's a bit, I don't know, old and tough. Oh, well, you know, maybe next time I'll have something better. And so he goes on this thing where he'll pick up women, and for some reason so many women want to fuck him. Idea is like a stone. Idea is like Jackie Mason from Caddyshack 2 and Rodney Dangerfield put together. And Stone, Barney Rubble. They want to fuck him. I don't know why all these hot girls want to fuck him, but okay. And he does it, and he gets aroused, and then when he fucks them, and then he kills them. But it's not that gory of a film, and it's not, in a weird way, I don't know if I want to say it's not mean-spirited because it's so goofy and silly and stupid that you're just laughing about it. Like there's weird dream scenes of like a woman and like a big old thing of bread on her. Like a woman on a table and all this stuff, like, I don't know, is mayonnaise or something being put on her? And a big old piece of white bread on her? Like these weird dream things that I guess was probably put after the fact. You have lines of dialogue like, I'm so hungry I could eat a whore. Instead of a horse. I'm so hungry I could eat a whore. There's this lady in a chicken suit because she's trying to sell chicken in front of a store, and it made a lot of chicken jokes. Well, if you want the finger looking good, you go over there. What else about this film? There's a point like he goes to a hardware store and he's asking all these ridiculous questions. You have like a 6-foot cookie sheet, and the hardware store like goes nuts on the guy. Like everybody in this movie is insane. Every character is insane in some way. But at least if you don't do that, make every character quirky. You even have like this homeless guy that I could be wrong on this, I think was the art director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I could be wrong, but I thought it's this homeless guy that finds an arm. But I don't know where the fuck that arm came from, because I thought the whole point was like he was eating all these parts, so why would he throw this arm away? But it's just this joke where the guy grabs it, and instead of being freaked out, he uses to scratch his back, his crotch, and leaves with it. He picks up another hooker, and he comes in with an Ichiban, like, apron. There's a bit where his buddies are asking, oh, well, what you don't bring tomorrow? Oh, I call it pay-teen chick. You mean pay-teen duck? No. So he's going to an Asian lady. And then it has one of the most non-endings I've seen in a movie. Super spoilers. He's going to be hanging out with his buddies. His buddies don't know what's going on yet. He's getting some stuff ready near the microwave. It did establish before they had issues with the pacemaker, because he has a pacemaker. So he's getting ready in front of the microwave. It cuts back to the buddies who enter the house, and they find the lead guy, the bad guy, Jackie Vernon, dead on the ground. And then they find body parts in the microwave. They freak out. Cut to movers moving shit out. And there's a little sign by the microwave, be careful near here if you have a pacemaker. So there is no big fight, there's no big obstacle, there's no big death. Well, there's a death, but no big comeuppance on the lead bad guy. It's just like almost a cutaway death. Like you cut away from him dying, and then you see his body. And that just goes to a lot of other stuff where, like, there's his wife's sister comes by, May, and he doesn't want to eat her, so he doesn't kill her. He just sticks her in the closet, tied up with a sandwich. I'd rather she just bite the sandwich and spit it out, but she keeps it in there, and she's in there day after day as the sandwich gets more moldy. And apparently when the cops were there, they didn't check the damn doors to find her still tied up. The movers had to find it. And people say that the one guy who finds her, who's got like a beard, they say that's Paul Rubens, like Pee Wee Herman. I don't know if that's the case, but people say it is. But yeah, I don't know if that's the case. I guess it's got released on Blu-ray from Arrow Video. I don't know if that's still in print though. But I guess there's a commentary on it. And a little making of. But also, like, they keep referencing these neighbors that the lead guy has. These very horny neighbors. Where the girl is at one point with a guy, and I swear the guy's in panties as well. Or the girl, like, pulls in, like, a repairman. So you're thinking, oh, it's going to come to a point where the lead guy, bad guys don't go for the neighbor, even though he shouldn't, because it's right next door. But then maybe the buddies come in and there's a big fight because they find out what's going on, or she fights him and runs off and finds the buddies and they're trying to chase the guy. No. He never goes for the neighbor lady who sent him all these flirtatious looks. That never comes into play. And it's such a weird non-ending. And then the very, very end is the movers moving everything out. And apparently, even the cops, no one got the May, his wife's head. It's sitting there, and then glows these red eyes, and it goes towards the camera, and then the movie ends. And the end credits are kind of clever, because the end credits are done like a cookbook. Like, the chef, the menu, and then the people who died. The people... I thought that was a bit clever, the way they did the end credits. This is a bad movie. It is a bad film. I'm not going to defend the film. But I gotta admit, I was entertained of how bad it was. It's short, at the very least, at 1 hour and 16 minutes. I was not bored because I turn around like there's a quirky character, there's a weird what the fuck moment. Gore, the little bits of gore is some body parts and they look very, very fake. That's what I mean. It's not mean-spirited where it's not like you have, okay, they put in rape or they put in he's cutting her clit or none of that stuff. It's in a weird way tonally consistent with how silly and stupid it is. So it comes off, I don't want to say harmless, but it comes off as laughable. Whether how much intentioned or not, it was still very laughable. It was fun. Like I said, this is a movie that you could watch with friends and get drunk. And at the end, as I'm watching, I'm going, okay, this is kind of doing this the whole time. But there was a sense of enjoyment about it. Of like this bad, absurd charm to it. That I can see why people hate it. And you have every right to do it. But again, in that Don't Go in the Woods, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, Scheme of Things, I would put in that category. And if you want to see a bad but funny movie, Microwave Massacre is one to do. But that's just me. So with that said, thanks for watching. Most people probably won't find it as funny as I did with how bad it is. Oh, what the fuck you smoking, man? I don't smoke anything, despite what people think. Maybe I should start though. I don't know, maybe because I understand. Yeah, remember some of the fucking movies I've seen. I've seen The Time Machine I Found at a Yard Sale. I've seen Neil Breen movies, which maybe how people view Neil Breen movies. Maybe that's how I view this movie. But I'd rather watch this movie than any of that shit, or Feeders, or fucking Allegoria or Dollface and all this other shit. Like, I've seen some really horrible shit. And if you don't be horrible, at least be entertaining. And this was, at the end of the day, kind of entertaining. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. I would actually be curious to pick up the Blu-ray for this, but I don't know if it's out of print. And if it's out of print, then oh well. I'm not going to have any sleepless nights about, but would I ever watch this again? Yeah, one day down the road I would. So, there you go. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.